WYMT, dedicated to Eastern Kentucky.
Now at 5:30, health and school officials in Whitley County say they fear that vaping could be keeping your kids out of school. I'm Hannah Reynolds, and we'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Using his dreams to help others find theirs. Straight ahead, hear about one Hazard business owner who has applied for a grant that, if he wins it, will give him the ability to hopefully help others develop their dreams.
A few light snow showers are possible for tonight. Those details now at 5:30.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. School attendance across the region has been low in the last few weeks, and health officials in Whitley County say vape pens could be partially to blame. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to officials and explains.
1 out of every 5. That's how many high school students are using e-cigarettes, officials say.
I think an epidemic is the best way to describe it because it is so prevalent.
And it is difficult for teachers to spot.
Probably one of my biggest fears is the fact that it is so easily concealed.
Making them easy to sneak in, a fear shared among schools.
The advertising now is geared towards the kids with just the flavors.
There is mint and there's fruit and there's mango.
But the sharing of vape pens could be keeping kids out of school.
It opens up the lungs, especially the vapor, and that vapor makes them more prone and more susceptible of getting flu and other illnesses.
And now officials say they are having to educate kids and parents about the harms of e-cigarettes to keep them from continuing to vape.
It's a dangerous thing, and our goal is just to make people aware and to let parents know that, hey, potentially this is what's going on.
Hoping to keep kids in school and off vapes. In Whitley County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Corbin Superintendent David Cox says he recently had around 1,500 kids from his middle and high schools educated on the dangers of vaping at school. A man that's been criticized for not acting sooner to address the explosion of teens using e-cigarettes is resigning. Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Scott Gottlieb is stepping down after nearly 2 years leading the agency's response to a host of public health challenges, including the opioid epidemic and rising drug prices. President Donald Trump tapped Gottlieb in 2017 to cut red tape at the FDA. His dream is coming to fruition. Now he wants to help others achieve theirs. A Hazard business owner is competing with multiple other small businesses, hoping to score a big payday to help build a dream station in his downtown Hazard location. WYMT's Will Puckett has more.
Right now, it is a vision.
They base the winners on how they're giving back to the community, what they're putting into the community.
Nearly a year ago, Joey McKinney started his dream, a clothing store that highlighted the artists in Appalachia.
I've been blessed with so many opportunities to be able to do what I do, to be able to chase my dreams.
Now he is hoping to turn his good fortune into a life changer for someone else.
To create what I call like an Appalachian dream station.
McKinney is hoping to utilize the additional space in his shop to create an area for dreamers to work.
I want to create a photography studio, so anybody that wants to learn about photography, about videography, they'll have that place here.
But he's not just stopping there.
Some pottery stations here. I want to do some painting, some art, some music, have live musicians here.
Creating the space in an area that needs a boost.
The more things that I feel we offer here in this space, the more diverse group of people are going to start coming through here and start seeing all the other things that Main Street may have to offer.
Hoping to become one part of a downtown revitalization plan. In Hazard, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Also a lot of history in that building there. It's the home to the former Family Theater in downtown Hazard. Now, if you would like to vote for Appalachian Apparel for the FedEx Small Business Grant, just find this story on WYMT.com. McKinney has until April 1st.
Well, with mostly sunny skies, we get to look at a nice sunset here in eastern Kentucky. Take a look at the UVA WISE camera, and here in a couple of minutes, we will see that sun dropping behind the mountains and a beautiful view. We'll be sure to show you this here coming up in the next 15 minutes as well, so we can capture that. Notice a little bit of light snow still on some of those grassy surfaces, even in Slade, Kentucky, there on the Mountain Parkway, and we could be looking at a little bit of light snow as we work into tonight. Notice a weak cold front work again from the northwest, and this will prompt a few isolated snow showers, really at 20% tonight. But if you get under one of these, you could look at a quick coating, especially if it comes down quick enough. Of course, for tonight, the upper 20s right now, at least in Moorhead and Ashland, they'll drop quickly into the teens, and most of us will be there, even though you notice we're in the 30s at this time in Hazard, Somerset, and in London. So for tonight, most of us dealing with flurries, a isolated location or two, maybe a snow shower. It will be cold, especially with the northwest wind, and sometimes in some spots, Steve, tonight, it'll feel like the single digits, but the good news, we'll get up into the upper 60s by the weekend. We'll break down that warmth coming up in a few short minutes.
All right, thank you, Andrew. One of Kentucky's largest lakes remains very full after reaching historic levels last week. Those who work at Lake Cumberland will face a busy spring season getting it ready for the summer boating season. WYMT's Phil Pendleton shows us the impact of the lake rising.
Lee's Ford Marina is quite a bit higher than it would normally be.
And it's created a lot of extra work. My crew's done a great job, but as the water comes up and goes down, you have to crank the whole marina up, and you got to crank it back down as it comes back down.
After reaching historic levels, Kentucky's third largest lake with more than 1,200 miles of shoreline is slowly starting to recede.
There may be still a little bit of cleanup going on, when spring comes around, because we really don't know how long the water is going to stay this high.
The water has gone down quite a bit, but it is still extremely high. Right over here is where the water line was. And right now, the water line is all the way down here. It's down significantly again, but it is still extremely high. Water continues to pour out of Wolf Creek Dam, and U.S. Army Corps officials say that'll continue for the foreseeable future in hopes the lake will reach a summer pool level, all the while controlling flooding downstream.
I mean, the whole reason this lake was created was actually for controlling the waterways. We love to fish and recreate here, and it's great we have it, but that was the original purpose, so it really served its purpose here.
The records were broken last week. The elevation above sea level was 758 feet. The maximum pool level near the dam is 760 feet.
But yeah, it's coming out at an unprecedented level. If you go down to the dam down there, I mean, it sounds like Niagara Falls.
In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Right now, the amount of water coming off Wolf Creek Dam is still more than 50,000 cubic feet per second. People in one Chicago neighborhood are mourning the loss of a 2-year-old girl. Danya Owens was killed Sunday night when a car escaping from police hit the car she was riding in. Her 21-year-old father was behind the wheel at the time. He did not have Danya strapped into a car seat, and she was thrown from the vehicle. Police also recovered a weapon from the car and arrested him. 2 other people in the car and 2 in the car that was escaping were hurt in the crash. It is being called an absolute miracle. 2 young girls were found safe after being lost for 44 hours in the woods of Northern California. Just 8 and 5 years old, Leah and Caroline Carrico were out exploring Friday afternoon when they say their curiosity got the best of them. They ventured past a marker they'd been told not to pass on the family's 80-acre property, and the sisters quickly realized they were lost.
They did the right thing. I mean, they might have wandered off, but they stuck together and they pulled themselves through. They saved each other.
The Humboldt County Sheriff's Office launched a massive search effort. The sisters were missing nearly 48 hours when they were found by rescuers Sunday afternoon. Their family credits the sisters' wilderness training for their survival. An acclaimed photographer who became known for capturing Kentucky's natural beauty has died. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports James Archambault died last week while in hospice in South Carolina. His wife told the paper Archambault suffered from a heart condition and had been unconscious since February 1st after falling ill. A native of Flint, Michigan, Archambault was celebrated for his images of Kentucky landscapes along with Pawleys Island in South Carolina. Archambault had just turned 76 last week. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, Governor Matt Bevin is praising a new approach to criminal justice reform. Find out how one program is helping people stay out of jail.
And we could see some light snow tonight. Another cold day expected for your Wednesday. And we'll even touch on a weekend system. All that's coming up in 5 minutes.
When you see news happening, dial star 57 or text your news tip to 5757. Service is provided by Appalachian Wireless. Better service, bigger savings.
All law firms are not the same. There's only one Morgan & Morgan for the people.
Oh, weep no more today. We'll sing one song for my old Kentucky home. For my old Kentucky home far away.
It's the East Kentucky Sport Boat and RV Show, sponsored by Wolf Williams and Reynolds, March the 8th through the 10th at the East Kentucky Expo Center in Pikeville. Be sure to let the kids fish in the trout tank, sponsored by WDIC 92.1, The Wolf.
Wednesday, with the pressure of the game rising.
Everyone's like losing